Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this is, I called it this Senate torture report because somebody else called it that. But basically, it's the report of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, committee study of the Central Intelligence Agency's detention and interrogation program. Um, I'll put the link in the description and everything, but pretty much after 9/11, a lot of terrorists were sent to some of these detention centers and then they were interrogated in what I guess you could consider inhumane ways. But on the one hand, look at what happened on 9/11. So, not saying, eye for an eye, but, sometimes, you know, you do have to do a little retribution, I guess. Not saying everything is like that. I mean, the Lord's going to take vengeance on those anyway, but sometimes it's satisfying to see it in this lifetime. So I'm not saying go around hurting people at all. But let's see. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. This will be video 5 of this. I mean, it's 712 pages. So we'll see how long we can go with this. I mean, I'm still going through the JFK docs, and that's thousands of documents. So anyway, I'm just kind of interested in some of these things. This is executive summary. Um, Approved December 13th, 2012, updated for release April 3rd, 2014, and declassification revisions December 3rd, 2014. So table of contents, I will just let you kind of look through that yourself. Well, I guess let me go and start reading. Okay, overall history and operation of the CIA's detention and interrogation program. September 17th, 2001, memorandum of notification authorizes the CIA to capture and detain a specific category of individuals after considering various clandestine detention locations. The CIA determines that a U.S. military base is the best option. The CIA delegates blanket detention approvals to CIA officers and redacted. The CIA holds at least 21 more detainees than it has represented. At least 26 CIA detainees are wrongly detained. The detention of Abu Zubaydah and the development and authorization of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. Past experience led the CIA to assess the coercive interrogation techniques were counterproductive and ineffective. After issuance of the MON, CIA attorneys researched possible legal defense for using techniques considered torture. The CIA conducts no research on effective interrogations, relies on contractors with no relevant experience. The CIA renders Abu Zubaydah to a covert facility, obtains presidential approval without interagency deliberation, tensions with host country leadership and media attention foreshadows future challenges. FBI officers are the first to question Abu Zubaydah, who states he intends to cooperate. Abu Zubaydah is taken to a hospital where he provides information the CIA later describes as important and vital. While Abu Zubaydah is hospitalized, CIA headquarters discusses the use of coercive interrogation techniques against Abu Zubaydah. New CIA interrogation plan focuses on Abu Zubaydah's most important secret. FBI temporarily barred from the questioning of Abu Zubaydah. Abu Zubaydah then placed in isolation for 47 days without questioning. Proposal by CIA contract personnel to use SERE based interrogation techniques led to the development of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. The CIA determines that the interrogation process takes precedence over preventive medical procedures. The CIA obtains legal and policy approval for its enhanced interrogation techniques. The CIA does not brief the president. The CIA uses the waterboard and other enhanced interrogation techniques against Abu Zubaydah. A CIA presidential daily brief provides inaccurate information on the interrogation of Abu Zubaydah, and the CIA does not brief the committee on the interrogation of Abu Zubaydah. Interrogation in country and the January 2003 guidelines. The CIA establishes detention site Cobalt, places inexperienced first tour officer in charge. CIA records lack information on CIA detainees and details of interrogations in country. CIA headquarters recommends that untrained interrogators in country use the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques on Rita al-Najjar. I don't know. Death of Gul Rahman leads CIA headquarters to learn of unreported coercive interrogation techniques at detention site Cobalt. CIA Inspector General review reveals lack of oversight of the detention site. The CIA begins training new interrogation techniques not reviewed by the Department of Justice, included in the training syllabus. Despite recommendation from CIA attorneys, the CIA fails to adequately screen potential interrogators in 2002 and 3. Bureau of Prisons wowed by level of deprivation at CIA's Cobalt detention site. Deprivation, I wonder what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but what are they talking about? Like no food, clothes and stuff, or what? Okay, anyway, the CIA places CIA detainees in country facilities based because they did not meet the MON standard for detention. DCI tenet establishes first guidelines on detention conditions and interrogation. Formal consolidation of program administration at CIA headquarters does not resolve disagreements. The detention and interrogation of Abd al-Rahim al-Nashiri, CIA interrogators disagree with CIA headquarters about al-Nashiri's level of cooperation. Interrogators oppose continued use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. CIA headquarters sends untrained interrogator to resume al-Nashiri's interrogations. Interrogator threatens al-Nashiri with a gun and a drill. Whoa. CIA contractor recommends continued use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against al-Nashiri. Chief interrogator threatens to quit because additional techniques might push al-Nashiri over the edge psychologically, and refers to the CIA program as a train wreck, waiting to happen. Tensions with country related to the CIA detention facility and the arrival of new detainees. The detention and interrogation of Ramzi bin al-Shib, Ramzi bin al-Shib provides information while in foreign government custody prior to rendition to CIA custody. Interrogation plan for Ramzi bin al-Shib proposes immediate use of nudity and shackling with with hands above the head. Plans become template for future detainees. CIA headquarters urges continued use of CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, despite interrogators' assessment that Ramzi bin al-Shib was cooperative. Information already provided by Ramzi bin al-Shib in the custody of a foreign government inaccurately attributed to CIA interrogations. Interrogators apply the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques to bin al-Shib when not addressed as sir, and when bin al-Shib complains of stomach pain. The detention and interrogation of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed at KSM, held in Pakistani custody, provides limited information rendered to CIA custody at detention site Cobalt. KSM is immediately subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. The CIA transfers KSM to detention site Blue, anticipates use of the waterboard prior to his arrival. The CIA waterboards KSM at least 183 times. KSM's reporting includes significant fabricated information. After the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against KSM ends, the CIA continues to assess that KSM is withholding and fabricating information. The growth of the CIA's detention and interrogation program. 53 CIA detainees enter the CIA's detention and interrogation program in 2003. The CIA establishes detention site black in country and detention site violet in country. At least 17 CIA detainees subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques without CIA headquarters authorization. CIA headquarters authorizes water dousing without Department of Justice approval. Application of technique reported as approximating waterboarding. Hambali fabricates information while being subjected to CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. After the use of CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, CIA headquarters questions detention of detainee and recommends release. Detainee transferred to U.S. military custody and held for an additional 4 years. A year after detention site Cobalt opens, the CIA reports unsettling discovery that we're holding a number of detainees about whom we know very little. CIA detention sites in country lack sufficient personnel and translators to support the interrogation of detainees. Other medical, psychological, and behavioral issues. CIA interrogations take precedence over medical care, and then CIA detainees exhibit psychological and behavioral issues. The CIA seeks reaffirmation of the CIA's detention and interrogation program in 2003. Administration statements about the humane treatment of detainees raise concerns at the CIA about possible lack of policy support for CIA interrogation activities. The CIA provides inaccurate information to select members of the National Security Council, represents that termination of this program will result in loss of life, possibly extensive, and policymakers reauthorize the program. Additional oversight and outside pressure in 2004. ICRC Inspector General, Congress, and the U.S. Supreme Court. ICRC pressure leads to detainee transfers. Department of Defense official informs the CIA that the U.S. government should not be in the position of causing people to disappear. The CIA provides inaccurate information on CIA detainees to the Department of Defense. CIA leadership calls draft inspector general special review of the program imbalanced and inaccurate. Responds with inaccurate information. CIA seeks to limit further review of the CIA's detention and interrogation program by the Inspector General. The CIA does not satisfy Inspector General special review recommendation to assess the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. The CIA wrongfully detains Khalid al-Masri. CIA director rejects accountability for officer involved. Hassan Gul provides substantial information, including information on a key UBL facilitator prior to the CIA's use of enhanced interrogation techniques. Other detainees wrongfully held in 2004. 2014 sources subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. CIA officer testifies that the CIA is not authorized to do anything like what you've seen in Abu Ghraib photographs. Ghraib, I guess. CIA suspends the use of its enhanced interrogation techniques, resumes use of the techniques on an individual basis. Interrogations are based on fabricated single source information. Country detains individuals on CIA behalf. U.S. Supreme Court action in the case of Rasul versus Bush forces transfer of CIA detainees from Guantanamo Bay to country. The pace of CIA operations slows. Chief of base concerned about inexperienced, marginal, underperforming CIA personnel. Inspector General describes lack of debriefers as ongoing problem. Legal and operational challenges of 2005. The Department of Justice renews approval for the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques in May 2005. Abu Faraj al-Libi, I don't know, subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques prior to the Department of Justice memorandum on U.S. obligations under the Convention Against Torture. CIA subjects Abu Faraj al-Libi to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques when he complains of hearing problems. CIA acquires 2 detainees from the U.S. military. The CIA seeks in-game for detainees in early 2005 due to limited support from liaison partners, press stories, and the CIA's inability to provide emergency medical care to detainees results in the closing of CIA detention facilities in countries redacted. Anyway, the CIA considers changes to the CIA detention and interrogation program following the Detainee Treatment Act, Hamdan versus Rumsfeld. The final disposition of CIA detainees and the end of the CIA detention and interrogation program. President Bush publicly acknowledged the existence of CIA's detention and interrogation program. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, gains access to CIA detainees after their transfer to U.S. military custody in September 2006. The CIA considers future of the program following the Military Commissions Act. The CIA develops modified, enhanced interrogation program after passage of the Military Commissions Act. Mohammed Rahim, the CIA's last detainee, is subjected to extensive use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, provides no intelligence. CIA after action review of Rahim interrogation calls for study of effectiveness in interrogation techniques and recommends greater use of rapport building techniques in future CIA interrogations. CIA contracting expenses related to company formed by Swigert and Dunbar, and then the CIA's detention and interrogation program ends. Intelligence acquired and CIA representations on the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques to multiple constituencies. Background on CIA effectiveness representations, past efforts to review the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, the origins of CIA representations regarding the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques as having saved lives, thwarted plots, and captured terrorists. CIA representations about the effectiveness of its enhanced interrogation techniques about specific CIA detainees, Abu Zubaydah, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or the KSM dude. CIA effectiveness claims regarding a high volume of central intelligence, the 8 primary CIA effectiveness representations. The use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques enabled the CIA to disrupt terrorist plots and capture additional terrorists. The thwarting of the Dirty Bomb, Tall Buildings plot, and the capture of Jose Padilla. The thwarting of the Karachi plots, the thwarting of the Second Wave plot, and the discovery of the Al-Ghuraba group, the thwarting of the United Kingdom Urban Targets plot, and the capture of Diran Barat, aka Isa al-Hindi, the identification, capture, and arrest of, is that Lyman Ferris? I can't see what that says. The identification, capture, and arrest of Sajid Badat. The thwarting of the Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf plotting. The capture of Hambali. CIA secondary effectiveness representations. Less frequently cited disrupted plots. captures, and intelligence that the CIA has provided as evidence for the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. Identification of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or KSM, as the mastermind of the September 11, 2001 attacks. The identification of KSM Mukhtar, alias the capture of Ramzi bin al-Shib, the capture of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the KSM, and then the capture of Majid Khan, the thwarting of the camp Lemonier, I can't say that, plotting the assertion that CIA detainees subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques helped validate CIA sources, the identification and arrest of Uzair and Saifullah Paracha, critical intelligence alerting the CIA to Jafar al-Tayyar, the identification and arrest of Salih al-Mari, the collection of critical tactical intelligence on Sky, Pakistan, and then information on the facilitator that led to the UBL operation. Okay, let's see how much more of this. I guess I'll just read this page and then we'll just do other ones. Okay, so overview of CIA representation to the media. While the program was classified, the CIA provides information on the still classified detention and interrogation program to journalists who then publish classified information. CIA does not file crime reports in connection with the stories. Senior CIA officials discussed need to put out our story to shape public and congressional opinion prior to the full committee being briefed. CIA attorneys caution that classified information provided to the media should not be attributed to the CIA, and the CIA engages with journalists and conveys an accurate account of the interrogation of Abu Zubaydah. Review of CIA representations to the Department of Justice. August 1st, 2002, OLC memorandum relies on inaccurate information regarding Abu Zubaydah. The CIA interprets the August 1st, 2002 memorandum to apply to other detainees despite language of the memorandum. Interrogations of Abu Zubaydah and other detainees diverged from the CIA's representation to the OLC. Following suspension of the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, the CIA obtains approval from the OLC for the interrogation of 3 individual detainees. May of 2005, OLC memorandum rely on inaccurate representation from the CIA regarding the interrogation process, the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, and the effectiveness of the techniques. After passage of the Detainee Treatment Act, OLC issues opinion on CIA conditions of confinement, withdraws draft opinion on the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques after the United States Supreme Court case of Hamdan versus Rumsfeld. July 2007, OLC memorandum relies on inaccurate CIA representations regarding CIA investigation and the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. CIA misrepresents congressional views to the Department of Justice in their review of CIA representations to the Congress. After memorandum of notification, the CIA disavows torture and assures the committee will be notified of every individual detainee or detained by the CIA. CIA notifies committee of the detention of Abu Zubaydah, but make no reference to coercive interrogation techniques. The CIA briefs chairman and vice chairman after the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. The CIA discusses strategies to avoid the chairman's request for more information. No detailed records exist of CIA briefings of committee leadership. The CIA declines to answer questions from the committee members or provide requested materials. And Vice Chairman Rockefeller seeks committee investigation. In response to Detainee Treatment Act, the CIA briefs senators not on the committee proposal from Senator Levin for an independent commission prompts renewed calls with the CIA to destroy interrogation videotapes. So that's just the table of contents for this report, but we'll keep going. I'll probably make videos later. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Have a great afternoon. Bye.